Okay, on a very fast one. First, we're gonna go to Rwanda, where America will deport people, everybody, all Nigerians, all I'm just kidding. All people from Africa that go to the United States of America illegally will be deported in Rwanda. Then we're gonna go to Mali, where Mali is complaining about the funds they're not getting anymore. What fund? The fund used to provide courses for the people to learn to read and write in their home language. Now Trump has cut that off, and Malians are crying over this. Is this the responsibility of America or the responsibility of Mali? What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping. You appreciate it. We're gonna get to this. Okay, it's happening in the United States of America. The US will deport anybody, everybody that comes to the US soil illegally, or people who overstay, to Rwanda. Here's Rwanda on the map. It's a beautiful place. It has a lot of hills, beautiful people. They have a lot of cows, lots of milk, and beautiful ladies. Look at that. And that. And that. And that they're gonna send you to Rwanda from now on. No more playing, because they believe it's a good opportunity for you, because most of you are Africans. Why don't you go to a country that looks just like you, so you don't have to get culture shocked? You know, like, why Americans do this, why Americans do that. This is an opportunity for you, so you can go to a country that is most likely more organized than yours, because it probably is. While you can say a lot of things about Rwanda, when it comes to being organized, they are very organized, no doubt about that. And Kigali is still the cleanest city in Africa. Look at that. Yes, they try to keep it clean. And also, it's part of the culture. I believe Rwandans don't eat in the street. You will never see them standing in the street eating banana. I believe so. Or potatoes. You see people eat all sort of things in the street, corns and stuff. But part of the culture, they try to keep things clean. And also, they have a system where every end of the month, I believe, everybody has to come off the street. Like from each avenue, people come out and go clean. It's compulsory. Everybody in the street have to go and clean. If you don't clean, you're gonna pay a fine for that. So every end of the month, you must be in the street with a bunch of neighbors. You cleaning your street. Make sure your street is clean. They're not waiting for nobody. I know you wait for cleaners. You say you're creating jobs. Or maybe people don't deserve those type of jobs. Maybe all of you need to be just clean and respectful. Clean your neighborhood. Make sure your surrounding is nice. Why should somebody come and clean for you? That's create laziness and entitlement. If you mess, you clean. That's how they do. You mess your street, you clean. You cut the grass. People cut the grass, and the positive about that is that it creates discipline. You don't mess around. You don't eat banana, peel and throw it. You don't throw cigarette. No, you don't do that, because you're going to clean. And I saw that, I think, in Ghana, in Cape Coast, where I saw a school where kids clean the school. Yes, kids actually clean the school. People clean the school. You go to school, you study, you finish studying. By the end of the school, you clean the school. Initially I was like, why are these kids suffering? These are little primary school kids. But then I thought about it. I'm like, this is beautiful, because you are teaching these kids cleanliness. You are teaching them to be responsible. You are teaching them discipline. They understand, if I mess, I'll clean. So let me rather not mess, at least not that much. Anyway, so after the plan by the UK to deport asylum seekers to Rwanda was scrapped last year, Kigali is now in discussion about a similar arrangement with the United States of America, despite concerns about human rights groups. So human rights groups are standing against this. They believe that Rwanda is not an adequate country to send people, because they don't trust the Rwandan modus operandi. But the move is still going. This month, Rwandan Foreign Minister Olivier Nduhungirehe confirmed that his country is in talk with Washington over migration deal, but concrete details have not been published.
I can confirm that this is the case, but the discussions are preliminary. So I won't go into the details that will be discussed.
So basically, Trump's government is actively deporting refugees to third world countries, including Libya. My brother, you don't want to go to Libya. You know what Libya is? This is Libya. Yeah, you don't want to go there. Imagine Trump saying, send all those Africans to Libya. They say, no, but they're not from Libya, but we don't care. put them there. Well, that's a good incentive to discourage you from going to the United States of America or to overstay, isn't it? It is. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that the administration is looking for countries, preferably distant one, to accept deported individuals, particularly convicted criminals who have served their sentences. They basically think some of these people that overstay are despicable human beings and they should go in countries far away.
We are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your country.
And well, is Rwanda wrong for accepting this? Well, initially Rwanda accepted hundreds of millions of dollars from the UK to accept many refugees. I mean, illegal black people, especially from many other places, going to the UK legally. They felt like the UK was paying millions of dollars, 30 millions per day, to house illegal immigrants, and they should be sent back to Africa. Rwanda accepted a few hundred millions of dollars to build apartments and rooms to have people. People were very angry at Rwanda. Why does Rwanda do this? Why is Rwanda doing that? But dude, who asked you to go to other people's countries for nothing and go stay forever? I mean, that's an opportunity for Rwanda if they're gonna make money to build roads, to build schools, to have infrastructure, to invest into companies, making sure their children don't have to go to the UK like your children. Shouldn't they get that opportunity? I mean, I get you. You're feeling some type of way saying, why is Rwanda accepting money? But, well, Rwanda is trying to make money for their people. They're trying to find ways so that Rwandese don't have to do things that your government is failing to do for you. Is that a bad thing? Well, they took the money. But at the end of the day, what happened? By the end of the government, the previous government in the UK, they scrapped the contract. Okay, the newer government in the UK say, no, they don't want this anymore. They can't continue. But Rwanda did not reimburse the money. So we are not reimbursing the money. We had a deal. Okay, we are keeping the money. We're going to build the country. Now, Trump is trying to redo what the UK, a conservative party, was doing, and for the interest of the people. Is this a good thing from Trump or not? Let me know how you feel about that. And now we're going to Mali. Fellas, this is Mali. Beautiful place, lovely people. You know, very recently, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger pulled away from, ECOWAS. This is ECOWAS. All these countries here that lie to each other about brotherhood, but they're not brothers at all. Yeah, they're just there for their personal interests. And the leaders are there just to protect each other, to stay in power forever. It has nothing to do with nothing. They get sponsored by Europeans. They claim to be an African organization. But the bottom line is their trust and loyalty lies with the donors. You understand what it is. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger removed themselves. However, now Mali used to get funding from USAID. What's the funding for? The funding was to help Malians learn how to read and write in their home languages. Because in 2023, Mali moved away from French, not using French. They promoted speaking their own languages such as Bambara and many other languages. Now they're going through mayhem and difficulties. Why? Because Trump has cut the fund. So there's no more money to help a lot of these Malians on how to learn to read and write in their home languages. In 2025, US aid agency has significantly reduced funding from transformative literacy program in Mali called Shifi Nitanye, meaning our future in Bambara language. This program, backed by $25 million over 5 years, aimed to teach approximately 20,000 young Malians to read and write in their native language, such as Bambara, at 1,000 schools, including Gausso Dabo School in Bamako. The initiative also provides vocational training in skills like hairdressing, carpentry, sewing, welding, and pastry making, enabling participants to gain economic independence. Now, how do you feel about this? You know, when you want independence, you must be ready. Okay, or you're gonna end up being like what has occurred with the South African president. Unfortunately, you're very angry. You're very free in your mind. You want to be free. You're independent. You don't want to be bullied. But then you find yourself in a situation where you have to sort of bow to a side, because then it hits your economy, because then your kids are going to suffer, So when you want to take a decision, you must be armed with means. Okay, well, Mali, Burkina Faso, especially Mali, moved towards Russia. Why are they not getting support from Russia? Because if you move from America, you don't want the West, then you shouldn't be expecting them to sponsor your programs of 20,000 people with $25 million over 5 years so they can learn how to read and write in their own languages. Let me remind you here that, unfortunately, especially in French colonized country, they did a horrendous job on destroying culture. Like, the better your French is, the more significant you are in society. It's still valid up until today. The better you sound in French, the closer you sound like a white man in French, the more credible you look. Now, The new government want to reverse that. They want to promote local languages. But where's the money? Where's the fund? Because in 2023, the administrative and all that languages is being changed into local languages. So you have to change things. Schooling, reading, a lot of things have to change. It requires money. Now, where is the money? And this program empowered participants economically. For example, Homu Traore, 29-year-old farmer, increased her earning from $60 to $95 by learning how to calculate and keep account in a mother tongue, enabling her to sell and produce directly. Why isn't Russia coming to the party? Well, Russia is at war right now. They don't have money to waste like that. Now, what are you going to do? Africans need to take care of themselves. Mali does have resources. Mali has gold, especially. Shouldn't $25 million perhaps come from some of the gold that they have and finance their own program to become more independent? Fellas, the arrival of Trump shouldn't just be perceived as a negative move. I think most of the things he's done in cutting aid should enable Africans to open their eyes and be certain that nobody's there to save them. If you work for my interest as a nation or as a country, I'm going to send you money. If you don't, I'm not up for that. And remember, Trump's goal was to make sure that everybody that's receiving aid from America is aligned with the United States of America's foreign policy. And Mali, as far as we know, when it's concerned Russia, is not. Let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. God bless.